Today we're going to install the G4 HydroTap Classic Tap. As you can see to the left of me, it can be installed on the sink or in its own font. Let's see how this simple installation takes place. The HydroTap G4 font is an accessory. The first step in installing that is to have your holes drilled in your benchtop. In the box with the font is a template that is easy to use, and you can fit it to your benchtop and drill your holes. There's a 35mm hole at the rear for the tap, 108mm hole for your font, and a 10mm hole at the front for the securing screw. The font itself also comes in the box. It comes with a protective coating to protect it from scratches while you install it. To fit the font, first thing is to remove the protective cover that is over the thread. We also have a spacer that is inside the box. This spacer needs to be fitted between the benchtop and the font over the tap hole. Before you fit the font to the benchtop, you'll need to grab yourself some kitchen and bathroom silicone and gently bead it around the edge of the font, just so we have a watertight seal when we fit the font to the benchtop. Once you've finished with your silicone, place the font into the holes, like so. Then to secure it correctly to the benchtop, you'll need to use the washer and nut that are also supplied in the box, and that just goes underneath the benchtop to secure it. This is the bottom of your font. This is the font outlet. A 19mm internal diameter reinforced hose needs to be fitted from this outlet to your waist. Secure it with the supplied worm drive clamps. The drain hose is not supplied. Now that you've fitted your font to the benchtop, we're up to step 2. With your HydroTap, you will get your Classic Tap assembly. Because we're installing the Classic Tap to the font, you'll also need to install the 100mm extension piece, which comes with the font. It's there so that you can easily fit bottles underneath the Classic Tap. When fitting the 100mm extension, you'll also need to use the extension thread and nut to secure it correctly. Also with the Classic Tap is the tap spacer, which interlocks with your font to keep your Classic Tap nice and straight and secure. We also supply you with a tap spanner. This is used to tighten your font and your Classic Tap securely to your benchtop. You can use a shifting wrench to tighten it up, or a shifting spanner, so that you can get the nuts for the font and the Classic Tap secured correctly to your benchtop. First step in fitting your Classic Tap to your font is to extend the thread. Here's your extended piece of thread. With the large nut, fit that about 6 turns onto your thread. And then your thread will also need to be fitted to the existing thread on the HydroTap. Using the tap spanner can also help with this process. Once the thread is fitted, we'll now fit our 100mm extension to our tap. Feed the USB cable and the silicone hoses through your 100mm extension all the way up so that it meets the Classic Tap, like so. We're going to fit the tap spacer into the font. When the tap spacer is fitted correctly, you'll hear a loud click. Once fitted, the USB cable and silicone hoses also need to be threaded through the font. Now your Classic Tap is fitted to the bench, we need to go under the benchtop and secure the spider clamp and nut so your tap is nice and secure. Once the tap is fitted to the font, feed the white spacer over the silicone hoses and the USB cable. The spider clamp has been fitted to the thread. When we fit the spider clamp correctly, we need to fit each one of the hoses and the USB cable in a separate quadrant of the spider clamp. Next, fit the nut to the thread and tighten the tap to the benchtop. You can also use the tap spanner that is supplied with a HydroTap. Once it's tightened, you need to go to the top of the sink to complete the installation. To finish off the installation, you need to fit the wire mesh drain cover. There's a convex and a concave side. The convex side goes to the top. Installing the HydroTap Classic on a sink, you need to drill a 35mm hole for your Classic tap to fit into. Supplied with the tap is a tap spacer. Fit that to the 35mm hole, then feed your USB cable and silicone hoses through the hole. Once fed through the hole, go under the bench to secure the tap. Feed your spacer or tap washer up over the USB cable and silicone hoses to the base of your sink. You'll then need to fit your spider clamp onto the tap. Each one of the hoses needs to go in its own quadrant, and also the USB cable needs to fit in its own quadrant. Slide the spider clamp up onto the thread and secure the nut. There you have it. Simple installation of the zipHTclassic Classic on the sink or on a font. For any further information or installation requirements, please see your Zip distributor.